Thank you so very much. And it's an absolute pleasure, like always, to be a part of this ITMPI network and to provide these kinds of resources to you. I am absolutely thrilled to be here. And I want to take a little bit of time to just talk briefly about why all of this matters and how we can, not have all the headaches that we've had in the world when it comes to PMOs. And I'll start by saying I've been there and done that, and I know what your pain is. I know what you're feeling. I know how frustrating it can be. I've spent many years in the project management and change management space, building PMOs, creating change in large organizations, and spending a great deal of time learning the hard way, quite honestly, which is why I have that blog titled, I Wish I Had Me When I Was You, because my whole goal is to ensure that you don't have to experience a lot of the things that I had to learn the hard way and without a lot of resources to support me over the many years of building PMOs. So I spent about 15 years in the shoes that many of you are wearing as a PMO leader and an executive inside organizations. And then about 5 years ago, I started my company called PMO Strategies that I mentioned does consulting and training. But over that time, so it's been about 20 years of coaching PMO leaders, being a PMO leader, coaching project managers to help them figure out the most effective ways to get it done. I also have this fun little side project of a nonprofit that I founded 4 years ago called Project Management for Change. And as a part of that, I was the PMO leader for what we refer to as the highest impact PMO in the DC area, responsible for an event called the Project Management Day of Service, where we bring together PMO leaders and project managers from all over the DC area. And now, actually globally, there are events popping up all over the world where people come together and serve the nonprofit community using their project management skills. Now, the reason I mention that here is that you want to talk about a PMO that had the odds stacked against it. Talk about an all-volunteer run organization run with a PMO of all volunteers, serving an underserved community that doesn't understand a lot about project management in the first place, and an event that had never been done anywhere in the world in this way. Now, that is a PMO that had the odds stacked against it. And if we could make huge global impact with the kinds of events that we've been doing in that organization, then I know there are ways that we as PMO leaders can drive ever higher impact in our organization, where we still live in that world of not enough time, not enough resources, but hey, anything's better than when you have absolutely nothing to start with, right? Okay, so I also have spent about 16 years serving on different advisory boards and PMI chapter boards, serving the industry and helping to transform how we think, talk, and act when it comes to the PM space, program project management, as well as PMOs. So I will share some of those insights today, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. So a couple of things that you're going to discover in this presentation. The top mistakes that people make when starting a PMO, the steps you can take to ensure that your PMO is off to the right start from the beginning, and then how to make sure that that PMO becomes and is sustainable as a high-impact organization within the larger organization that you support. And before we can do that, though, I want to talk to you about a couple of mistakes that you might be making right now. And if you're not, I am sure you have at least read somewhere that these are the ways that you should start your PMO. And that's because this is the common thinking out there. And these are the kinds of topics that I've read in articles, I've seen in training classes, that I spent a lot of years being told this is what you do first, this is how you start. And the first one was starting with PMO objectives. I can't tell you the number of articles I've read that say, okay, first thing you do when you start a PMO is starting with the objectives. And that is absolutely wrong. And I will share with you why in just a moment. Another big mistake that I see, and this is often in IT-related PMOs, but not exclusively. But we'll get busy with putting a tool in place or putting templates and process in place. And before you know it, a year has gone by and we've yet to show any impact because we've been busy building tools and process that nobody knows how to use or even wants to use because we haven't taken the time to set the stage right from the beginning. The next one, and this one, you guys, I know some of you are going to think I'm crazy for saying this, but the next mistake you can make is building a PMO charter. That's right. Do not build a PMO charter. We'll talk about why in a minute. And this has been a big thing that I've even written articles about in the past called, being business driven. We need to have a business driven PMO. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about why that's not enough and what we might want to be doing differently. So first and foremost, where do you start? Whether you're starting a PMO or you're at a point now where you need to look at how you take your PMO to the next level, or how you need to be thinking about the PMO and the services. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe you're some of my clients will say, help my PMO. They come to me because their PMO is being questioned because it's not providing value, or people are avoiding it, or it's thought of this process-heavy organization, or Agile's coming and taking over. There's all kinds of ways that we get to this place where we have to take a pause and say, okay, how do we start? And we'll walk through that right here now as soon as we answer these questions for ourselves. Why are you doing the PMO in the first place? If you're not crystal clear as to why you're doing this PMO in the first place, then hit the pause button on everything you're doing, take a step back, and think about what the purpose is of your PMO and what the mandate was when you first started. So a lot of times we hear, well, we want to improve project performance. Projects aren't doing as well as they need to be. We need to pick up the pace and do things differently. We want to reduce costs. Projects are taking too long. They're costing too much. We need to increase our value in the project output process. So how are we ensuring that we're creating value with these projects? Project throughput is another really big one. It's taking too long to get projects through the life cycle, the process, the framework that you guys have for doing projects. It's just taking too long, so we've got to put a PMO in place to help solve that. Better utilization and allocation of resources. We don't know who's doing what, when, and how, and we have this huge backlog that can lead to the throughput problem, and we've got to figure out how to better align our resources to the most important priorities. Obviously, there's a productivity component to this, and ultimately, a lot of times that PMO leaders are brought in to build or run a PMO is that we just got to get it done. Now, ironically, when a lot of PMOs are put in place, these are the very things that they tend to mess up as opposed to solve. So sometimes the reason we put the PMO in place to solve some of these challenges, but you know what? Things are taking even longer, they're costing even more, throughput's even slower, we still don't have a handle on our resources, productivity actually wasn't improved. And at the end of the day, we're just still not getting it done. So sometimes the very PMO that we've established ends up being an organization that further perpetuates the problem. So what do we do about that? When we're thinking about creating our PMO, or when we're refreshing or revisiting the PMO that we have in place now, we need to start with the outcome in mind. What is it that we're trying to do? We're trying to drive impact. And we'll talk about impact and what that means and why.
Hi there, hope you enjoyed that last clip. My name is Michael Maludis, and if you'd like to watch the full 60 minutes of that last webcast, while also gaining complete unlimited access to our entire library of IT learning, simply visit our subscribe page at greatpro.org/subscribe. Unlimited annual access is $199 per year, but if you use the coupon code LEARN2EARN, you can drop that membership fee to just $149. That's less than $13 per month for unlimited access to over 1,000 hours of on-demand career development, covering the entire spectrum of IT management best practices, including business analysis and requirements, software development, quality and testing, risk management, process improvement, project management, and even digital transformation. But your membership doesn't just give you unlimited access to our vast learning library. You also get free access to our mobile app, as well as direct access to our network of over 300 of the world's leading IT consultants, all of whom are dedicated to putting practical knowledge at your fingertips so that you can learn more and earn more. I hope you will join me in becoming a member of the Great IT Professional and advancing your career with us. And if you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button above so that you get notified whenever we publish new free webcasts each week of the year. Thank you for your time and best wishes for your continued success.